Hello there everyone, my name is Ace, and welcome to War Thunder. And today, we're taking Rochan out for a spin. Oh wait, you don't know what I mean? Okay, then I'll explain. The aircraft you see on the screen is the A7HE-1, which is initially the HE-112. It is a diminutive aircraft. It was initially German, and it is here flying with the Imperial Japanese Navy in IJN colors. Now who does that seem like I just described?
ローちゃんです。提督、よろしくお願いします。
Yeah, thought so. Anyway, we are here on a realistic battle, the Japanese going up against the Russians. I am, of course, on the Japanese side in my German aircraft. The A7HE is an aircraft I quite like, although I can't exactly explain how to fly it. I have had great success in it, and I have found it extremely easy to fly, but it's an aircraft that really doesn't seem to me to be excellent in one field. I don't think of it as a straight-up boom and zoom. I don't think of it as a straight turn fighter either. But it just seems to be capable of doing everything you ask of it, partly because of a stable airframe. It has decent armament for this tier. It has 2 MGFFs and 2 7.92 machine guns, and they really do come in handy in a pinch. Anyway, let's get to the battle, and maybe how to fly this aircraft will become apparent through this battle. Right, the battle is joined, and I spot the first enemy aircraft, a BB-1. Very dangerous little bomber this, and I keep an eye on it. I'm not sure at this point whether I'm going to go for it, or if I'm just going to fly straight on and look for the fighters at higher tier. Friendly Ki-45 dives on it. You can see me here, I'm in two minds. I don't know whether to dive and help or just keep my altitude. I just try to get close to the action and see how that's going to end up. Heavy fighter, of course, the Ki-45, so he has to get it right at his first pass. He doesn't. But I continue to fly away from the BB-1 because I'm seeing 2 Yaks here, 2 Yak-7s, and a Yak-1 down low. Keep an eye on the BB-1 there. He's coming at me, and I'm surprised at this. He's wasting a lot of energy to get to me, and it's very easy for me to roll into his fire and completely have him miss me. I've decided to engage at this point, but there is really no point. As you can see here, our friendlies have completely destroyed that Russian bomber. So I changed my aim to that Yak-1, and this aircraft's dive is quite decent. I checked behind me there to see if he really is dead, and guess what? He really was. Decent dive speed on this thing, and I am catching up at a rate of knots to this Yak-1. I expect that Ki-44 to get him, but he doesn't because Japanese 50 cals, I don't entirely blame him. I go into the horizontal for a little bit, but ultimately I decide it's a fool's errand. A couple of bursts of fire there, no dice, and I go into the vertical. And this aircraft's really good in the vertical. I roll back again because I see that the Yak-1 has had to turn into me instead of turning away. And you can see how good this thing is when its energy is up. It really does do everything I ask of it, and here I am getting closer. I go for one burst. It is kind of a mine situation, but I ultimately get the kill. And there you go, first kill for Rochan.
頑張りました。はい。
I turn away, and I see that there's still a gaggle of enemy aircraft over there. On I-153, which is an aircraft not to be taken lightly. A Lag-3, an aircract which is to be taken lightly, if I'm totally honest. And a few more Yaks over there to the right. I'm not sure who's winning at this point, although there's the friendly F4U, and he's definitely he has the right idea. He's high, he's fast. Goes for a dive on that Yak-7. Doesn't connect, but it's okay. He has the energy. He can just go up and go back again. This F4U really seems like he knows what he's doing. But this isn't about him. This is about little Rochan here in my hands. And there you go. I-153 going up against the Ki-45. Ki-45, of course, has way more speed than he does and gets away. I think about going to get him, but guess what? He's on fire. I have to look for other targets. And that's when I spot another I-153 there to the right. Now, I don't underestimate him. It's so easy to think, oh, it's just a biplane and dive for him. That would be a fool's errand. That guy, he has the maneuverability to go with anybody. And he's going for a climb to get me, which is incredibly stupid. He helicopters, he loses all his energy, doesn't get me. Best he gets is a tiny little tag of machine guns. By the way, it did 0 damage. I was completely unscathed at this point. So I dive. Now I have all the advantage on him. He's stalled out. I'm gaining speed. I try to get my nose on him. He turns into me, which he can do, which is the right thing to do. I go for the vertical turn again. I look at him initially. Thought I turned vertical initially there, but I took my time apparently. There, as he's going for the Q45, I go to the vertical. Very good turn here. He's in my sights. He's not aware of his surroundings apparently. Didn't turn into me. Couple of bursts. Didn't get him. Again, I don't turn with him. That would be stupid. I go for the vertical again, and this is... You can do this all day with most aircraft, including Spitfires. Just keep turning in the vertical, and you keep your energy up, and you will have an advantage. There you go. He didn't survive that burst. There's a Russian biplane dead. I look at that Yak 7, I think about going for him. Right now, my priority was to gain altitude, and... Yeah, MiG-3 and Yak 7 over there, they went for their airfield. There is a Yak 7 over there with that MiG-3, by the way. He'll show up later. I ignore that Yak 7 because, let's face it, he's not going to survive. Even if he kills that Key 4-4, that Corsair's going to get him because, as we've established before, that Corsair kind of knows what he's doing. I roll in, get a look at him. Keep flying for him. Eventually I'm gonna realize that there's no point in me going after him and turn away if memory serves. I am recording this after the fact, of course. He tries to go back to his airfield. Ki-44 is an amazing aircraft, by the way. It's the most un-Japanese aircraft in the Japanese line. It's entirely reliant on its vertical ability, its turn and dive. It's not a turn fighter. Do not attempt to turn fight in the Ki-44. You will end up dead. So there they are, all three of them. Yak 7, MiG-3, and another Yak 7 all near the runway there. Taking cover behind that extremely scary Russian AA. I decided I don't want to mess with that. I try to gain altitude first and foremost. I wait for that Yak 7 to get away from the airfield, which is the wise thing to do. And credit to him, he's not hiding in his airfield. He's flying away. He's trying to engage us, and brave of him, but he has all the disadvantages here, so he's not going to come out of this one alive. I go for a maneuver here. I turn first, and then I start the vertical before he's passed me. That way, by the time he's passed me, I am on his tail. I have more energy. I have a higher altitude, but I couldn't give chase because my friend in the Corsair there absolutely eradicates him. He was having a very good game, and so was I. 2 kills for each of us, I believe. And now I'm looking at that Yak 7 on the runway. I am flying away. I'm trying to gain as much altitude as I humanly can. It's not wise to go into that, like I said, extremely frightening Russian AA. I don't want to lose my aircraft just yet. I still have a few more aircraft to kill and a lot of game time left, and we're ahead on tickets, so there's no point in rushing to kill the Russians. Ki-45 is scarily close to the runway. I would not be doing that if I were him. I'm pretty sure he's getting tagged by Bofors back there. I think they're Bofors anyway, I'm not entirely sure. So I turn around. Bit of a diving turn. Try to get eyes on him. Try to see if anyone's down there. I see a dot flying away from the airfield. That's the MiG-3. I am diving towards him, and if AA opens up, I will be turning away. But it hasn't yet. It hasn't yet. So maybe by the time I get to him, he'll be far away from the airfield that I can start engaging him. Still flying away. This is exactly playing the way I thought it would. He's getting closer, getting closer. I open up. Betrayed by the MGFFs. I did tag him there, but they didn't do much damage. These guns are very inconsistent. They're not MG151s, I'll tell you that much. He makes a massive mistake here. He turns away from me instead of into me. F4U dives on him, so you never know. This was a lose-lose situation for him. At this point, I decide to tunnel vision. We've pretty much won. There's no point in me not chasing a kill. I throttle down, try to get on him. Oh, Yak 7 comes for me. I attack him, then roll away. Go for another vertical turn. And I find myself in a favorable position to dive on the Yak and the MiG-3 again. Not the Yak 3, the MiG-3. There are no Yak 3s in this game. That would be very frightening. But here I am. More tags, no hits. No real hits, I mean to say. Both the airfield AA is tagging me, and I decide, screw it. I'm taking this guy with me. At this point, I realize that I'm dead. I keep getting hits. The 7.92s are very good on this thing. I throttled down completely, as you can hear. And there you go. There's my aircraft on fire. But he's on fire as well and dead. But I've sadly lost my aircraft. It's okay though, because the game is pretty much over. The other Yak 7 died at exactly that same time. And you're going to see it on the screen now in a little bit. Any minute now. There you go. The ticket bleed has started. We have won this game. Banzai. Victory to the Japanese. And that is a victory for me. 3 kills, and I was top of my team in that game. Indeed, Rochan, you were the best. You were the best to fly. The A7HE-1 is one of my favorite aircraft to fly in this game. It's a nice, relaxing, low-tier aircraft to fly. It's very responsive, it's reasonably well-armed, and it's even premium. What's not to like? Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you found this entertaining, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.